Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Moving to Australia podcast. Today we will cover the nomination places used for each Australian state and territory under the 2024-25 skill migration program, reflecting the significant demand for skill migration in those areas. And to discuss all of this and more, joining me in the studio is Amitava Dev. Amitava, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Arun. How are you? How is everyone?
I'm doing well, Amitava. How's the weather there?
It's cool and it's going to rain. I think it was raining last night. And I think some parts of the world it's very, very hot. In India, it's very hot. So we live in a world of contrasts across the globe.
So, Amitava, let's talk about the skill migration program. 24,
Hmm.
25, and we'll talk about the nomination places used so far and what's remaining.
Yes.
So, what are the current numbers for each state and territory look like?
Okay, so let's start with the numbers that were allocated for each state. The highest numbers were allocated for Victoria, Western Australia, New South Wales, and South Australia. There were 3,000 allocated for 190 each of those, and 2,000 allocated for 491 for three of those, except South Australia, which had 800 allocated. So there are more numbers allocated for 190. Now, out of these, as of today, Victoria used up 2,740 places, meaning hardly any places available. And for 491, they used up 1,500 out of 2,000. So 8.7% remaining for 190, 23.3% remaining for 491. I'll tell you about their current status. I'm just going to go through quickly without going into too much details for each of these states. So that is Victoria. New South Wales, on the other hand, has a very, very large number still unused. So out of 3,000, subclass 190, only 1,143 have been used up for 190, and out of 2,000 in 491, they have used up only 694. So more than 60% are still unused till the end of June. So don't know whether they are going to invite, and I my uh, gut feel is it's probably going to be a very busy month, this month and the next month. Let's hope. A lot of my clients, especially those who are living in New South Wales and working in New South Wales, they are pretty anxious. Their visas are running out, and I hope they'll get some good news very soon. Now, talking about the other states, the next in the line is Canberra. They have not used many of their places. 50% still remaining to be handed out. Western Australia, actually, it's Western Australia. 70% are still remaining to be invited. And we also have Queensland. So overall, 40% across all the states are still remaining to be used. Out of a total allocated 16,500, only 9,580 have been used up, which means 41.9% remaining for subclass 190, and for subclass 491, out of 9,760, 5,140 have been used up. So 47% are available. So these figures indicate that certain states like Victoria and South Australia have utilized a significant portion of their allocated nominations, while others like Western Australia and New South Wales still have a substantial number of places remaining. So I guess applicants are advised to monitor the respective state and territory migration websites for the most current information on nomination availability, because they keep updating it. Also, you can go to their website and register to receive news updates. So that's all about the numbers. Should I go through states one by one, what their status is, Arun?
Yeah, sure. If you can just club that with the next question I have, because it's tied to that as well. Some states have regular invitation rounds, while others pause and reopen based on internal processing. So, if you could walk us through that for each state and territory as well as the numbers, that would be great.
Sure, Arun. So, what I just mentioned from that, you could infer that Victoria has used up most of the places. So, logically, they're the ones who are going to close, right? So, Victoria have now closed to new registration of interests as of 29th of April 2025. And the reason is the state has received more ROIs than available nomination places. So what they're not really closed. They are going to continue to assess the submitted ROIs for any remaining nomination places. So whatever is remaining, they're going to use the submitted ROIs. No new ROIs can be accepted. Next, Northern Territory. Northern Territory are closed to new GSM applications. The reason is Northern Territory has received sufficient number of applications to fill their allocations, so they are not going to accept anymore. But there are exceptions, and those exceptions are mentioned on their websites. And the exceptions could be like someone who has been living in Northern Territory and their visas are running out. They have been, contributing to the economy. Those are the ones that are exceptions. Tasmania, the next one, are partially closed. The overseas job offer pathway closed to new ROIs and applications for nomination for the remainder of this year. Other pathways are open, but with restrictions due to high demand and limited remaining nomination places. And then, of course, there is this extended visa processing times, increasing number of false claims have led to the closure of specific pathways. What has been uh, inferred from all the state nomination applications is that a lot of people make applications, a lot of candidates make applications with false claims, and that slows systems down. So it's important to ensure that the applications are genuine, and that means that allows for genuine applications to receive priority. But it's quite a different scenario to what it was before COVID. Tasmania, Northern Territory, people were not very eager to move to those places. And currently, given the scenario of competition, a lot of people are onshore trying to find ways to stay back and get a PR. There is a sudden surge in the number of applications for Northern Territory and Tasmania. So the other states quickly, we've got New South Wales. They're still open and they hold regular invitations. And as I said, I expect a big flood of invitations coming up in the next month or so. Australian Capital Territory, they schedule invitation rounds periodically and they will continue to do that. Western Australia also, they have been slow. I don't know why, but they're still open. So did I leave out any say South Australia, right? South
Yeah.
Australia, I think they have stopped invitations for cooks and chefs, but they are overall still open.
Now, do you think any of the states are prioritizing any specific occupations?
There are priority occupations listed on Victoria website, which is I can't remember. It's given on their website as ICT, health sector, and I guess education. These are the three priority areas. And also, it's important to note that invitations are not always based entirely on points. Every state has a different criteria. For some states, apart from considering points, they also consider um, items like do you have a skilled partner? What's your English score? How many years of experience do you have in Australia? And Are you in a priority occupation? So all these factors contribute to the invitation. So if you're not invited, it could be because of these factors.
Now, what happens when nomination places run out or applicants defer to the next program year?
No. So when typically when nominations run out, there's a reset in the month of 30th of June is the end of the planning year, which coincides with the financial year. So at the end of it, they reset, and the state governments publish sometime in July, end of July, beginning of August. They will publish the new rules, and so, many times they are quite different to the year before. So we have to wait and see what they say. Usually, a lot of those states will indicate that you have to lodge fresh expression of interest, fresh ROI for Victoria, for example. So we have to continue to monitor the websites in such a situation.
And finally, Amitabh, what's your advice for skilled migrants who are here and who are also keen to move into Australia? Because as you said, the current program is running out and it will reset again on 1st of July. So what would be your advice to them?
Four advices. Number one, stay informed. Regularly check official state and territory migration websites for updates on nomination programs and occupation lists. As I mentioned earlier, subscribe if that option is available. Number two, prepare early. Gather necessary documentation. Ensure your expression of interest is up to date. And excuse me, make sure you know what kind of documentation you can prepare now and what kind of documentation you may have to prepare once you're invited. And EOI is very important whenever you change your jobs or you get married, for example. Your situation has changed. Update the EOIs. It's very important. There's nothing devastating when you are invited only to realize that there was a mistake and the points you claimed is different to what it should be. And in that such circumstances, if you apply, if you lodge a visa application, it will be refused. So that's point number two. Third one, seek professional guidance. Consider consulting with registered migration agents to navigate the complexities of the application process. Um, I think registered migration agents, registered professionals are important. You may have friends giving you advice, but take that with a pinch of salt. A lot of times they may not have current information. And I have had situations where advices of friends led to disasters. With all respect to your friends. And number four, be flexible. It's very important to be flexible, remain open to opportunities in different states or territories, especially those with higher nomination allocations or demand for your occupations. Do not be hung up on a particular um, subclass or a state. Be open. So that's my advice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your insight, Amitabh. So, folks, there you have it from Amitabh Deb, a registered migration agent at Devika Migration Services. If you're serious about migrating to Australia through the skilled nomination route, timing is everything, as he mentioned. Act fast, stay informed, and don't wait until July. All right. Thank you for tuning in and see you soon. Bye.